Hello everyone and welcome back to the penultimate race of Season 15 of the AV Championship. We're in Brazil. Wessel is your crowned champion. The constructor standings, I'm not sure how that one's going. Lars is here, not sure where Laurens is. Is Laurens actually not here? That's quite a big letdown. We've got 11 drivers here. So that's quite nice. We've got both Ferraris. We've got both Haas drivers. We've got 2 Aston Martins and 2 Racing Bulls. And we've got Wessel and Panda and Lars as our 3 lonesome drivers here today. It's very sunny out here. We are following. Jimbo's actually the first one out on a lap already. Let's go chase him down. Into turn number 4. Stay within track limits. Right on the edge. Quite nice corner. There we go. Through sector 2 with the windy bits. Oh, and he's sideways. Jimbo sideways on his first run and lost part of his front wing. Take a look at Lars then on a lap in the second sector already. Fast, putting the first time on the lap, 108.5. I think Lars has got Panda in front of him, who's on an outlap, going out of the way nicely there. A little bit of a wide corner there, not making the apex on that corner. Had nothing to do with Panda though, he went out of the way quite nicely. Now going on to the final stretch. He's got purple in the second sector. Is it fast enough to beat fast his lap time? For provisional pole, it's not enough. He's 1/10 off, even less than a 10th actually. Go to the next person on the lap then would be Panda. It's not that busy at the moment. Panda in the Black Williams. I really like the Black Williams. Nice car to look at. Going through that corner. It looks very aggressive. Panda and Milo in the second sector on a lap. Lars is on an outlap, I think. Yes, he is saving up. Panda now going into the final sector. He's got a 52.2 so far. Milo going into the final sector with a 53.1. He's 9/10 off of Panda's lap time. Going across the line, then comes Panda, staying very close to the wall. It's third for him. He's a 10th slower than Lars. Still very close to fastest. Provisional pole time. Milo is 6/10 slower than Panda, and in P4 Wessel once again proves that he is the worthy champion of the season. Goes more than a second faster of fast. Puts it on provisional pole by a big margin. I think his 2 main contenders today might be Lars and Panda. Maybe fast. Gbot puts in a 110.4. It's gonna be looking for an improvement. 17.9 in the first sector for David. What's Nock gonna do in the first sector? Oh, he's gonna spin! Almost. No, he kept it, actually. Surprisingly kept it. It's a 118.2 though, that's a second slower than David. Jimbo 17.3 in the first sector. Is driving behind Nock. Russell goes in the pits, 53 seconds on the second sector for David now. As he makes his way towards the line, puts it in P6 in front of Gbot. Nock has a very slow lap time. He's gonna need to improve later. Jimbo then might be on for a pretty good lap here. Could jump well within the top 5. Goes to P2 in front of Fast. Ready to challenge the front row. They're all very close. Second to 5th is within 3/10. Well, now we're waiting for the 2 Ferraris. The 2 Brazilians in their home race. Spidey, the 2-time Constructors' Championship winner in AV. Getting a nice little slipstream. Jumps into... Oh wait, no, he's starting his lap. Starting his lap right here. Let's take a look. Nice, sector 1. A little bit of a lockup going into that corner, almost spinning out. He's definitely not feeling comfortable around this part of the track. 52.6, that could be somewhere within that top 5. Lars jumps up to P2. Fast has also jumped in front of Jimbo. Let's see what Spidey can do here then. Jumps into P6. Has lost a bit of time. But he's in the middle of the pack. Let's go then on board with the other Mercedes. Ferrari. It's a Ferrari. I know it's a Ferrari. I hope no one sees this. I apologize to Tenta for calling his car a Mercedes. That's a Ferrari. It's very red. It's very Italian. Spidey had a 52.4 going into the final sector. Fuck off, Nock. And now I can't see his time because of your fucking stupid message, Nock. I can't see his delta time. Fucking hell. There is black on the car though. Nock, there is black on the car, I can assure you. There are black parts on the car. Look, there's a whole black square in the middle of the car. Even part of the halo is black. As Tenta puts it in front of Nock, proving a point that Nock is washed. No, just kidding, Nock. You're great. Going into the final... Oh no, wait, you're on an out lap. Wessel then improving by 1/100th of a second after the first sector. At the same time, I think we've got most people in the pits. And it's raindrops. Raindrops are coming down from the sky onto the Interlagos track. That's gonna be very difficult now to improve on lap times. Oh, Wessel is struggling out there. That's not gonna be an improvement at all. Oh, there's almost a crash between the McLaren and the Williams. Please don't collide, guys. And they're going for another lap. Let's take a look at what Nuck can do then. Doesn't seem to be any chance for improvement anymore. Seems to me that qualifying has unofficially ended here, with rain coming down on the circuit. And potentially that rain is here to stay for the race. We have about 5 more minutes in this qualifying session remaining. Drivers are retiring from the session. There's pretty much no chance of lap improvement anymore. A very short qualifying session then. That lasted for maybe 10 minutes, maybe 12. Before the rain started coming down. We've got 5 drivers left on track. Technically 3. There's 2 drivers still in pits. Milo has also retired. Wessel is flying out there. Pretty much literally flying out there, since he was flung up into the sky by the DRS signs on the side, I think. We've got our own private drift show now from Wessel. Should be going into the pits and retiring very soon. We are only waiting for Gbot and Tenta to retire from the session to gain some time here. So if I could personally request them to retire, that would be very nice. Great job, Nuck. Yes, you could have set a lap time, but instead you chose to send me a funny message. I respect it. I respect it. You're starting last now, so anything's possible. Can we see a Nuck masterclass here today? Wouldn't that be something? Tenta, if you're there, please retire. Gbot, if you're there, please retire. It's raining. It's raining for the race. And we will soon see the strategies. I think everyone should be starting on inters, if I see this correctly. It's not the heaviest form of rain, I think. There we go, everyone's ready. And here we go on our formation lap. Wessel's on pole. Lars and Fast are lining up behind him. Panda's in fourth. Jimbo, the highest placed Racing Bull driver of today, in fifth. Milo in sixth. Spidey in seventh. David in eighth. Gbot starting in ninth. Tenta starting within the top 10. And Nuck, the only driver out there today unable to make it into the top 10. Let's take a quick look at the tires. Everyone's starting on inters, as I thought. There we go. We've got everything set up, ready for the race to start. All the drivers need to do is warm up the tires, warm up the engine, line up correctly within their grid slot, and try to get the best run they can out of their starting positions. There is not much more for them to do. We've got a Dutch front row, followed by Fast, who's won on this track multiple times. Wessel's lining up, Lars is lining up, Fast is lining up, Panda's on the grid. Jimbo and Milo also lined up on the grid. Spidey and David now also lined up on the grid. We've got Gbot, Tenta, and finally Nuck is lined up on the grid. We're ready to get this race on our way. Rain is coming down from the sky. The lights are turning on one by one. And they're out, and the Brazilian Grand Prix is underway. Lars seems to be having a terrible start. Fast might come alongside, going around the outside. He spun on the grass, but there's a huge collision keeping them straight. Now they're going 3 wide into turn 2. That's not working. We've got Jimbo ghosting through turn 3. Fast has recovered to P4. Nuck in the back has made one position, is now in the top 10. Spidey has overtaken Milo. What's happened to Milo? Milo's dropping positions. Everyone's made it through the first few corners relatively safely. Nuck now trying to open the attack on Gbot ahead. Panda's made it into second. Gaining 2 positions on the start is quite a nice beginning for him. Ooh, all the drivers are very much struggling with the grip out there. Wessel able to keep his lead on the opening lap here. Panda is within half a second of him though. Is there anything he can do on this back straight? Doesn't seem like he can get much closer. who can get closer is Nock and is already well past G-Bot. When we get to turn 1. He's lost a bit of time to Milo because of G-Bot's slower pace. David has made it into P6 and is now trying to make a move on his teammate. They're going side by side and he's still side by side with Jimbo. Jimbo still on the outside. Jimbo manages to defend the position. Great battling between the two Racing Bulls in the opening laps of this race. He's trying a switchback. They're still side by side. David goes for the dive bomb. They've got Spidey right behind. They're still side by side, but Jimbo comes out ahead. Now Spidey wants a taste of this. And David goes for the dive bomb again, and now he's ahead of Jimbo. Spidey trying to make a move around the outside of Jimbo now, but he can't put the car in the right position. Stays behind the two Racing Bulls for now. Whew. There might also have something been going on in the front. We've got Panda in 2/10 of Wessel for the lead of the race. They've created a little bit of a gap. Panda's got the new fastest lap of the race. Wessel unable to drive away then. That's a very good exit from Panda. Wessel defends the inside. It leaves minimal space. Holy moly. And keeps the lead. David up into P5. Nock has made a move on Milo. In the meantime. And now in the back the gaps are starting to get a bit bigger. But in the midfield, the gaps are still very small. Gap between Spidey and Jimbo, half a second. Jimbo and David, also half a second. And there's a little bit of a gap between David and Fast. Oh, there was a collision between Jimbo and Spidey has gotten the worst of it. He is spun round and rejoins in last place. Jimbo also loses 2 positions, promoting Nock to 6th and Milo to 7th. I'm not sure what the cause of the collision was. If Jimbo turned in or if Spidey did a bit of a dive bomb. But this has not been advantageous to either of them. Haas drivers find themselves in P4 and P6. This is good for their battle with Red Bull, especially now that both the Red Bull drivers are not here. Racing Bulls in 5th and 7th. Jimbo has overtaken Milo in the meantime. A little bit of a battle going on here. Spidey is trying to regain places. Finds himself behind G-Bot. Oh, a little bit of a correction on entry. Trying to keep the car pointed in the right direction. Wessel now with the fastest lap, still able to keep Panda behind. In front, but Spidey with the better exit here. Trying to make a move round the outside of G-Bot. Still side by side through the banked corner. Cross the line, still side by side. Oh, and there's contact. Oh, there's contact. Spidey didn't know when to brake. And hit the rear of G-Bot. G-Bot's in the wall. Oh, what's happening here? I think G-Bot is a casualty of a misjudgment from Spidey there. As G-Bot went back to the racing line in front of Spidey, and Spidey was trying to outbrake him, but there was no space anymore. Smashed into the back of G-Bot. This time around, going into the final sector here. Panda's right behind Wessel again. A little bit of a twitch on exit. Wessel is driving away with it. Let's take a look at the ERS then. Wessel's got a lot better ERS management than Panda. Thus he is able to stay in the race. Team swap then here, I assume, between the two Ferraris. Spidey is up into P9. David still driving very solid in P5. I think the highest finish he has ever had in his career is P4. He's never had a podium before. But guess what? Lars is right there, right in front of him. There's the podium. You're so close, David. He's got Fast and Lars right in front of him. Oh, he's almost lost it. He's almost lost it. But he manages to keep the car on track. We see in front Fast also struggling a lot. The rain is getting heavier. When are the drivers gonna come in for a set of wets? Full wet tires might be necessary at some point in this race. Fast Dance got a bit of a run on Lars for the podium positions here. Going on the outside, Lars defending the inside. Fast maybe trying to make a move on the outside. He doesn't have enough speed. What about on the back straight here? He's got slipstream. Lars moving to defend the inside. And he's got enough overspeed to keep that attack covered. Now David's looking for an overtake on Fast and he goes on the inside. There's a little bit of contact, but they're still side by side. Oh, and they're still side by side, but David's got the position. He's up into P4. Fast is on the grass, loses a bit of traction. David into P4. What a run from him. He's gained positions and is now looking at a possible podium finish. I think meanwhile Nuck has also caught up with Fast and this group here. This has potential. This group has potential to become a very entertaining battle for the podium here. Going a little bit wide into turn 1. And Jimbo's the first person to get a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That might have some further consequences near the end of the race. And David follows suit. David follows him and also gets a penalty for exceeding track limits. He's right on the back of Lars. And he almost sends it down the inside, almost loses the rear on entry. This is a race of keeping your car on track, keeping it pointing in the right direction. And we've got 5 cars contending for that third podium spot. In the shape of Lars, David, Fast, Nuck and Jimbo, you can see on the map. Now on the right side on the track. Now going onto the main straight. Does David have a run? Doesn't look like it, but Fast might have a run to reclaim his 4th position. David defends well. He's got very good pace actually. Panda has been in within a second of Wessel for pretty much its entire race, I think. Wait, David's made it into P3. David's made it into P3. Overtaking fast. Overtaking Lars. Lars has dropped to P5. What's happened there? I probably missed something. While I was looking elsewhere. David now in P3, but he still got that penalty. Nuck and Jimbo chasing down Lars, who has just lost 2 positions. He is vulnerable. Nuck with a bit of overspeed. Gaining on Lars ahead. This is for P5. Lars defends the inside again. No, but David is sideways into turn 1. And there's a collision between him and Lars. Lars goes deep and Nuck goes for a double overtake into P4. What a move there from Nuck. Trying to take advantage of that carnage into turn 1 and 2. Amazing stuff. And we find the 2 Haas drivers in 3rd and 4th. David, after showing such good pace in the opening few laps, is now dropped 2 positions and seems to be struggling a lot. Jimbo trying to go around the outside of Lars, but alas, it leads to nothing. And now Spidey has a 3-second penalty. Let's see who else will accumulate enough warnings to be added to the list of drivers with a penalty. Ooh, David, Jimbo almost driving into the back of Lars. That's probably going to be another warning. And first driver to pit. First driver to pit is Spidey. It's gonna be very interesting to see what tires seem to me like full wet tires. Yep, wet tires for Spidey. And now I see that Milo has also opted for wet tires. And he comes out behind his teammate in P9. Let's go back to the thick of the racing. No, keep it on track, Jimbo. Keep it on track. I want to keep this race interesting. It won't be interesting if people start spinning out. Although it could be interesting if one of the 2 front runners would spin out. The rain is definitely starting to get heavier. And we've seen a move. David has to defend from Lars. Oh, and he's pushing him off. He's pushing him off. And Lars gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. We might be able to look into that. As stewards, David lost another position to his teammate by going off track. David unable to leave the space for Lars, forced Lars to cut turn 2. But he is now in P5 and that will be under investigation to maybe remove the 3-second penalty for corner cutting since he got pushed off. Interesting view here. Lars being chased down by 2 Racing Bull drivers. Jimbo's right on his tail. Is he gaining enough though? Doesn't seem to be. think Tentas also opted for a set of wet tires. Oh, there's a yellow flag. It's one of the two Aston Martins that I think is G-Bot. Jimbo going on the inside of Lars now. Going side by side, but Lars able to defend, making the outside the inside for the next corner. We've reached a bit of a calmer moment in the race. David has pit. Let's see what tires are under that car. Almost half the grid is on wet tires for now. Right now. Let's see what lap times they are doing. Spidey coming across the line puts a 1:23.5 on the board. Let's see what the front runners are setting. Ooh, Panda, keep it on track. Still chasing down Wessel though, still within a second. Will they pit or not? Wessel staying out, Panda staying out. Let's see what the lap times are. 23.6. I think that's similar to what Spidey is doing on the wet tires. Is it though? I already forgot what Spidey said. Oh, Jimbo almost loses the rear on the exit of turn 2. Panda now got a 3-second time penalty. That will be very unfortunate since he's been chasing down Wessel for pretty much the entire first half of the race. Rain is coming down onto the circuit. A lot heavier than at the start of the race. We're not even halfway there. Wessel and Panda still staying out after 14 laps on inters. This seems very much like wet tire weather, but the top 6 are still going strong. David is gaining on them though. He's now 17 seconds behind his teammate. David's got another penalty. It's gonna cost him at the end of the race. Not that much happening. I think that's G-Bot getting lapped by the two Haas drivers. It's quieted down a little bit. Although Panda It's really close to Wessel. I don't think it's gonna be an overtake though. Jimbo going off track for a little bit though. Just a little bit of a touristic route there. Still 1.1 seconds behind Lars. Panda now side by side with Wessel. I almost fell asleep there. But he's trying to make a move. Wessel's got more ERS though. Wessel's got more ERS, better ERS management. And there you can see how important ERS management is. Because with more battery, Wessel was able to defend his lead against the first attack from Panda. Lars is in pits. Lars is in pits. Where will he drop back to? He's behind Spidey. He is behind the Ferrari of Spidey. Dropped back to P8. He's gone for a new set of inters rather than a new set of wet tires. An interesting choice. To me it seems like the wet tires are slightly faster, but the pace is very similar. Pace is very similar out on track. And it seems to be raining slightly less than it did just a few minutes ago. Seems to be raining a bit less. Milo in the pit again, going for a new set of inters. Jimbo's got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is really unfortunate for him. And we've got Nuck in the pits as well. Fast. It's fast. It's the other house. Lars is in the wall. Lars is in the wall. And that's a reset to track. I think he was stuck. Lars in the wall. In the final sector. As he lost part of his front wing. I think so. And he decides to pit. No safety car. Out on track. Oh, a safety car would have been great, actually. And he's retired. He's retired from the session. No points for Mercedes today. And that may have sealed the Constructors' Championship for Mercedes. They are not getting it this season. With one race to go, they're too far off. Nuck, the other Haas driver, coming in for a stop now. Should be very easily dropping back behind his teammate, but in front of the two Racing Bulls. Although maybe David has a run on him. The gap from Nuck to David is 20.8 seconds. Where will Nuck come out? There is Fast. Overtaking right now. There is David going into turn 1 right now. I think he'll come out just in front. I think Nuck will come out just in front of David. It's going to be very tight though. And David comes out slightly ahead of Nuck. David jumping up to P4. He's on the wet tires though. And now we're going to see a straight battle between 7 lap old wets and 0 lap old intermediates. Wessel and Panda still have not pit yet. They might be going till the end? No, there's no way they're gonna go to the end. Nuck now has a good run on David here. For P4. He's right in his slipstream. And David goes into the pits. Needs to make sure that he doesn't get a penalty for speeding. He slides into the pits. With tires blocked, car going sideways. Manages to keep it straight in the end. And it's gonna go back to Inters, I think. There we go. Back to Inters. Should drop back quite comfortably in front of Spidey. With 15 laps to go. And Panda has taken the lead. Panda has taken the lead, but he's got a little bit of a... He's going into the pits. He's going into the pits. Panda into the pits. Oh, I think he spun. It's a 10-second penalty for Panda. That could cost him potential P2. But at least a shot at P1. Gap too fast is quite big though. Oh, that was Williams in the back going into the wall, and that's wing damage. Wing damage for Panda. That might cost him a lot of positions. If he has to pit again, yeah, the whole left side of the wing is off. He's losing a lot of time to Wessel out in front. And Fast is 13 seconds behind Panda. Nuck is... Let's take a look. Within 20 seconds. Also take a look at the penalties. Jimbo is the king of penalties today. 16 seconds. Followed by Panda with 13, David with 9, and Spidey with 3. Let's see what is Panda gonna do. Goes into the pits. Gonna get that wing fixed. Not sure if that was a racing incident or if he spun in his own. The rain seems to be a lot less. So it would be unlikely. Would be plausible to assume that it would be unlikely that it was Wessel that caused the damage on Panda's car. There you go, the 10-second penalty as well. Panda's gonna drop back to P6 or 7. If it keeps going like this. There's the front wing change. There's the tire change. David is on the main straight right now. Is he able to get anywhere close to Panda? Oh, Panda spawn again in the pit exit. David now going through turn 3. Coming out right behind Panda. Going very wide. That's going to be a warning. Oh, David, keep it straight. Oh, he's hit the wall slightly. But no visual damage. That could have been a lot worse. And we've got 2 Haas drivers on the podium right now. A dream scenario for the team. David, keep it on the track. Keep it on the grey stuff. What are you doing? Don't turn towards the wall. Turn away from the wall. Oh, very dangerous return to track, David. That nearly hit Spidey. I think Spidey narrowly avoided that. Not looking where he would rejoin the track. How old are those tires, Dave? Oh, David, keep it straight. Don't hit the... Oh, David. Was looking for a potential podium finish earlier this race. But has thrown it all away. And he's retired from the session as well. Another DNF for the driver. With the record amount of DNFs in AV. That means positions gained for Milo, Tenta and Gbot. And no points for David, unfortunately, following the 90% rule. Wessel leading the race by 15 seconds, quite comfortably. Cooling down the tires. Now lapping, I assume to be Milo. Only the top 6 is within the same lap. And now Nux podium positions might be under threat from Jimbo if he did not have that many penalties. We've got 10 more laps to go. That's still quite a bit, but it seems to be getting drier. So lap times are gonna go down. Only battle we've got going on is Jimbo challenging for P3. But Jimbo's got so many penalties. 16 seconds of penalties. That Nuck doesn't really need to battle all too hard to defend his podium. Oh, and Jimbo has spun. He is sideways, but I don't think he's hit a wall though. Maybe a mental wall, but no physical one. He stays in P4. Panda is still 8 seconds away. And now the smallest gap we have on track is Nuck to his teammate. That's quite a big gap. What's happened? Nuck is gaining a lot of seconds suddenly. Lost like two seconds to his teammate, I mean. So Jimbo to Nuck is still the closest gap. Unfortunately, David will not be getting his point due to the 90% rule where the driver needs to finish at least 90% of the race, which in this case would be 32 laps, 33 laps, in order to be eligible for points. Unfortunately for David, that was not the case. We've got 9 drivers still running. G-Bot is gaining on Tenta. And now he's losing time again. I'm not sure what's happening on track. Oh, that's a lapped car in front of Jimbo. 10-second penalty for Tenta. Went too fast into the pit lane. As G-Bot is now also getting lapped by Jimbo. What are those tires, Tenta? Oh, he's retired from the race, Tenta! You're throwing away 2 points. You're throwing away 2 points for the Ferrari team. And for your own championship. With... Oh, if you only did 5 laps more, you could have gotten points. The other Ferrari is still going, and he's in P6. This race is getting to a bit of a slow ending. Panda's gaining on Jimbo though. So we might see something of more interest there. Maybe he can catch up to Nuck. But I honestly don't think so with 6 laps to Knock, what have you done? Knock has got a 10-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane with 3 laps to go. And he's changed to soft tires, but he's got a 10-second penalty. Almost running into the wall there. 10-second penalty for him is going to cost him a podium. For sure. And award Panda with maybe a well-deserved podium, to be honest. Despite his mistake earlier. And Wessel just takes the fastest lap of the race with 3 laps to go. Oh, and now he's got a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. What are you doing, Nuck? That adds up to 16 seconds and might even cost him P4. But I'm pretty sure he would be saying I don't care at this moment. Since he already lost the podium.
Jeez. Still unplayable.
DRS has been enabled for the final 2 laps of the race. Spidey needs to gain 1 second in order to get P4 away from Nuck. Nuck is sliding all over the place. Spidey is still on inters. Nuck is on softs. Is he the only one on softs? No. Gbot and Milo also on softs. But Wessel's got the fastest lap, I think. Yep. Nuck might go over it though, with his current lap. There he comes. He's got 2 laps to go. And Nuck steals away the fastest lap by a 10th. On the new soft tires. And who is that? Who got a new fastest lap of the race? Was that? Wessel got it again. He's a lot faster this time. On inters. Holy moly. What a lap. Nuck's got 1 more chance after this. Oh, and he spun. Nuck has spun. He's sideways, but he manages to keep it straight. And Panda's got the fastest lap now. This is all about that 1 point. Nuck should have this on the slick tires in the dry weather. And he's going into the final lap right now. Going into the final sector. I will be taking a look at this man who has been dominating this entire race in the first half of the race. He's had to defend from Panda. But he didn't give up, he didn't give way, and he's showing that he is the worthy champion of the season. And sets another fastest lap at 1:14.8 to try and take all the points home from Brazil. Is there anyone that can beat that lap time? It is Jimbo. Jimbo with a new fastest lap time. Has finished in P6. Nuck is still out on track though. As is Panda coming around the final corner now. He is too slow on his first 2 sectors. What about Nuck? I don't think there's any chance positions will change. Looking at the scoreboard. G-Bot's got the fastest lap of the race. This is incredible. G-Bot of all people having the fastest lap. Now it's being taken away by his teammate Milo. A drying track. Now Nuck has stolen the fastest lap by a huge margin. Almost 3 seconds faster on that last lap. Spidey might take it away though. He's still out on the soft tires. He's the last driver who is still racing. The other drivers have already finished. This is just a battle for the fastest lap. It's almost like qualifying even. Can Spidey take it away? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's out of gas. He is out of petrol and limps home to take P5. That means that Nuck takes the fastest lap home. Finishes P4 though. Could have been a penalty. A podium. If he didn't take the penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Wessel wins the race. Fast comes home in second. And Panda in third. Nuck with a wonderful drive from 11th to 4th. Would also be my driver of the day. A lot of great overtakes, a lot of great battles.
It sucks, I have no idea.
And we'll be back next week with the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi. After that we'll have a pretty lengthy stop, I think, as we set up for the 2026 cars. So we'll see you next week.